Do I need to say anything cute? Is that?
I don't know. I mean, we're doing something different with this small subset of episodes of the Dead Rising playthrough because we lost all of our audio.
Every last bit of it.
But we have the video, and Matt made a lot of progress.
Like, story progress.
Like, a lot of missions completed that we don't want to do again, because fuck it.
Because we've already definitely done... Oh, I guess...
Shh! Don't break kayfabe.
No, you're right. We've only done things once, of
It's
course.
a single playthrough so far. Mm-hmm. Anyways... without further ado, welcome to Taking Credit for Dead Rising, the podcast episodes.
All right, here we go.
Oh, Leroy Jenkins and Susan the Old Bat, yeah. Sorry, I said that it sounded meaner than I meant it to be. Susan's the only good survivor that you pick up.
Oh, definitely.
Remember how many? She's going to throw down a little bit at least here.
I do remember this kind of, although... not enough to be able to, like, tell you moment for moment.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that we should note about the fact that we're VOing this instead of just, like, capturing it is...
We're not just VOing this. This is actually a time loop.
Oh.
Yeah, we've gone back.
I was going to excuse the fact that we don't have anything good to say about what's happening right now by addressing the fact that when we recorded this is probably approximately 3 weeks ago from when we're now doing the VO.
Yeah, but wait. But if we go back in time, then it's just now, and not 3 weeks ago.
So how are we going to do that?
I actually have a... It's my TARDIS. It's crazy.
Let's get that bullshit reference out of my face. I was hoping you were going to do some sort of, like, Dio Brando time, like...
I mean, if you want to stay behind, that's fine, but I'm going on. Allons-y!
Get out of here! It's not 2009.
Oh, man.
I mean, but it might as well be by your logic on time.
It's really tough being the funniest person I know.
It's really tough that Matt is the funniest person he thinks he knows.
Do I just think that I know myself?
Yeah.
That's weird.
At any point during this playthrough, did I explain to you the fact that if you are unarmed and you aim like you would aim a gun, you can spit?
Yeah. Oh,
I did. Okay, good.
I think I've done it at some point.
I think you must have, yeah.
Also, I think I said the first time we played through, Leroy looks like Mumford had a very bad day.
Like...
Well, a very bad apocalypse, I guess. We found him later.
Like...
Marcus Mumford.
Like Marcus, like from... I don't...
As in and sons. You don't see it?
Dadford and Daughters. Marcus Mumford has a full head of hair, you weirdo.
Yo, the apocalypse was very stressful.
Okay, alright. Is it just because he's wearing overalls?
It's overalls. It's just kind of...
Is it literally just because he's wearing overalls?
I mean, a little bit. It's a little bit just because he's wearing overalls.
I need you to take a look at me right now.
I can't. This is actually this is an audio
only. I just want to impress to the viewers that I'm currently just wearing overalls and nothing else.
Yeah. Also, if you could pull those up a little bit higher.
You're not my supervisor.
But no, you don't think it looks like Marcus Mumford had a really bad day, really bad apocalypse?
He looks like a generic redneck character. He looks like... Wait. He looks like... I've got it. Sid Haig did in Night of the Living Dead 3D. Boom. You're welcome. I'm going to slap that on screen right now.
We couldn't just say Marcus Mumford. We couldn't just do that and move on.
I just like my references to be... I don't know, a little bit more astute.
Okay, what about Susan B. Anthony over here?
That's good. I like that one. I'll give you that one.
Really? You like Susan B. Anthony more than you like my Marcus Mumford reference. All right.
She looks more like Susan B. Anthony.
No, I'll just know my audience, I guess.
She kind of looks like a very, very Star Wars holiday special B. Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She actually does.
Yeah.
Although, she might be a little taller, but I'll give it to you.
I mean, a little bit more meat on her bones, too.
Mm-hmm.
Susan is in good shape, and B. Arthur was towards the end of her life at that point.
Well, you know what? Also, the holiday special marked for almost everybody the end of their careers.
Now, wait.
Basically, everybody who wasn't actually in Star Wars.
Almost everybody. Yeah, okay. I'll give you that one.
Well, I mean, there's a reason George Lucas will pay you for your copy of a Christmas special so
that
he
can smash it with a hammer, yeah.
Oh, man.
I wish I were that passionate.
See, no, it's also the beard. I know that Marcus Mumford, it's something about, I don't know. We'll move on.
I'm going to slap a picture of Marcus Mumford on here.
Yeah! All right, that's cool. We'll start a poll.
All right, yeah. That'll be our first big brand thing, or our first big brand poll. Leroy, does he look like Marcus Mumford?
They still haven't cleaned that body.
Yeah.
That's just unsanitary.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Unless they're thinking, oh man, what if somebody turns and we just need a slab of meat to hold off the zombies?
Just a hunk of flesh. And I do mean hunk. Wink.
Ooh, Barnaby was a cutie.
Barnaby. I think now is a good time actually to going back when Kent showed up and you were like, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to fight him. Fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you just bailed.
Yeah.
I actually I remembered that when he shows up that time is when you show him your winning picture, and that's when you beat him. And then he's like, all right, meet me here tomorrow afternoon. And then you do this.
So
I
could have just gotten a bunch of XP.
Yeah, you could have just won the photo challenge and then had the opportunity to fight him later.
Okay, well, I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's fair. So I think right about now, Mr. Robot was interacting with all of the people he had saved and trying to kill some time before the mission started.
Yeah, the last resort.
Mm-hmm.
Susan B. Anthony, which we both agree on. So.
Yeah, of course. I wonder if we've got good look. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
He's going to take off.
It's the Tasmanian devil approach.
Oh, and this is the part where
I realized people can leave their rooms.
Yeah, Wayne made it out of the house and we were like, it's chaos in here.
Bruce really let himself go. Wayne.
Yeah, I got what you were saying. He looks more like...
Yes, but his name is Wayne.
Yeah, his name, but that's his first name.
You don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Know. That could be Mrs. Natalie.
If we could pause
Madame Sophie.
And check the...
Sir Brad.
There's a character list that gives you all of their first names and last names on the pause screen.
Who's to say? There's just no way to know.
Yes, and. All right. It's a mystery. It's a conundrum. You're not wrong.
You're right.
You're never incorrect.
Not even once.
It's always jokes.
You're learning. Oh, man, I wish people could see just the intimate leg touch.
Yeah, there's a lot of inner thigh touching that's happening during this podcast recording.
It's also very hot.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta close the windows to soundproof the place, so.
It's so hot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not doing too bad because I'm wearing just overalls, but.
True enough. Yeah. And it's so hot just being beside you.
Cut!
Oh man, if we ever get people like taking this apart and like seeing however many like references we get to just hitting on each other, it should be like a drinking game or like a montage or something. Like
I know that some of there's certain full playthroughs that people have done on YouTube where it's like the more popular ones like Oni and Game Grumps and stuff like that, where it's like they do a full playthrough and then the fans put together a drinking game list.
We will have made it if somebody puts together a drinking game list for us.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
We're not begging.
We don't want to drink whenever we do things.
So I think what's happening right now is Carlito just announced that he's using his final solution, which got everybody on edge because it's like some just terrifying shit for a person to say. And he's gonna blow up the mall. So Frank and Brad are gonna go down into the security dungeon,
the parking garage,
the parking sex garage.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's it. And they're gonna try and get rid of the bombs.
And I pick up the ever important soccer ball.
Yeah, but you got a bottle of wine, so I mean we're halfway to our drinking game.
Oh man, you drink whenever Frank drinks.
I mean, it's not that frequent.
Unless you drink as much as he drinks whenever he drinks. Because that's not much, but then that's 3 bottles of wine in less than 5 minutes.
3 bottles of wine in 1 boss fight. God. Regretty. Alright, so yeah, Isabella's...
Yeah, we gotta go.
Got some hot deets for you regarding the explosives. I think this goes well for you.
No, I think
How
it
much
doesn't
do you
the
remember?
first time, and then it goes well the second time.
No, you got a couple of kills.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
this particular?
Yeah, the soccer ball kick. Because there was a period of time where every time you came out here, you would throw the
and just miss
the
terribly.
big metal shelf. Yeah, and I think you only made one hit.
Yeah, soccer ball clearly does better.
It's true. Better than a fucking shelving unit.
For some reason, the way combat works.
The way the heavy thing hits the person. Oh man,
Contemporary reading. None of them old books.
Old books is for idiots. All we've got is 45 copies of Twilight and 97 copies of Twilight.
I was gonna say 50 Shades.
I was gonna do 50 Shades, but then I thought it would be funnier to just double down.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Which Twilights?
Um,
I also don't know any, so if you don't know any, I'm fine with that.
Wait. There's Breaking Dawn.
Twilight: The Last Jedi.
Twilight: The Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
Twilight and The Last Crusade.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that was good as well.
I know, it was quite good.
Twilight: Die Another Day.
Oh, yeah. Wow, these are good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to... I specifically can't remember the second... Is Back to the Future 2 just Back to the Future 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That explains why I can't remember this catchy title.
My favorite is probably Twilight: License to Kill. And that's because when they adapted that one into a movie, it was an incredibly racist movie, and you could always tell who was going to betray James Bond because all of the bad guys were black. It was a very bad movie.
Yeah, you can say that again.
It was like there was 2 Bond girls, and you knew which one was going to betray him because the writer was a very bad man.
That's awful. Actually, my Bond knowledge is a little bit lacking, if I'm being honest with you.
Fair enough.
I know Sean Connery is my Bond.
Oh, yeah, all right.
I don't really know if that's
controversial,
but...
Sean Connery, pre-Sean Connery making that one movie that he was way too old to make.
Which one's that?
He did, like, a handful of movies and then took a hiatus and then made one, and it was, like, I think the second last movie he ever made while acting. Like, it was that and then The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And...
okay, also, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, as a fan of the comics, I saw the movie first.
Yeah.
And was like, I can't figure out why people don't like this movie.
Sure.
It's adequate enough. It does what it needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
Reading the comics, I do get it. But it wasn't bad enough to make Sean Connery quit acting, in my opinion.
I think that he was just planning on retiring, and then that movie didn't do so well, and he was like, might as well.
Okay, that's fair.
But that movie was, honestly, it's a fun watch. It's not a very good movie.
No,
it's kind of stupid. It's kind of schlocky, but it's not, like, offensive.
No, that's accurate. That's 100% accurate. In fact, I think I owned that movie at one point.
Yeah. I think everybody has a copy, but nobody ever bought one.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like the way that the zombies, we managed to watch them spawn into existence this time.
We did, yeah.
That was pretty good.
Also, this is like the best tuck and weave I've ever done in this game.
Yeah, I remember this being like a very stressful moment for you because
we were trying to conserve health.
Yeah, because we were getting down into the pipes or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and you were like, Matt, take this car, and I was like, oh hell nah. There's a bike, it's got Matt written all over it.
And then I immediately was like, oh no, wait, I think everything is blocked except the bike, so that was probably a good pick. You remember that part?
I actually didn't at the time, but now I do.
Yeah.
What by the time I meant 2 seconds ago when I was saying.
When you were taking hot dunks on me, yeah.
It's the only kind of dunk I take.
Cut. Oh, man.
You missed me.
Yeah, Matt's been on hiatus for a while.
I moved. It was awful.
Yeah. He doesn't live here anymore.
No.
Also, there was a thing that we only realized at the very last second. Mm-hmm. And I told you to go to the last bomb because it was the easiest one to return from.
Oh, yeah.
And then it turns out, and I completely forgot this when I was playing.
Oh, Otis.
It's Isabella.
Oh, is it Isabella's this time?
Yeah.
No, it's
what
Otis.
The fu-
yeah.
Otis, you son of a bitch.
Right? He knows, too.
Yeah. I was just looking at your butt.
Yo, was that on my cell phone or on the walkie-talkie?
Walkie-talkie.
Okay, I was like, you have reception down here?
Cell phones are jammed. Also, the game was made in 2005.
You obtained a time bomb. Oh, no.
But the first bomb, the one that we circumvented by going to this one, there is actually a heavily, heavily armored truck. that you can drive directly next to it. And we completely circumvented it stupidly. So you're going to see us making a lot more work for ourselves.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do make it ultimately. So.
Hey, there's no spoilers. Spoilers!
You're right. I'm sorry. We make it our first try.
First try, yeah. That's true. Mm-hmm. That's an accurate thing and not a misleading statement.
I prefer red herring.
Mm.
It's not a red herring. It's just a lie.
Said Matthew Herring.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I started rewatching the first season of Stranger Things.
Oh, nice.
And I forgot that his name was Steve Harrington, and every time they said it, I was like, son of a bitch.
Yo, it's really weird for me. I mean, Harrington isn't my name, but I've been called Harrington enough to kind of clue in whenever anybody says it. You know what I mean?
Like when somebody says, hey, shit for brains, and I'm like, oh, yeah, oh no, wait, that wasn't for me. That was... But, you know,
that was a type.
I just get called it enough.
Shit for brains specifically.
Shit for brains. Yeah! I'm gonna have to beat that. Don't say it. I'm not using my last name on these videos yet.
No. I mean, you get the double bleep, though.
Yeah, well, I will. I've done this very good thing where every time I have to bleep something, I cover it up with the Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, yeah, this is just me trying to pick up the freaking chainsaw instead of the hunk of meat that I accidentally...
And you gotta pick up the chainsaw,
oh, right, and the
not pick up the
shows
hunk of
up.
meat,
oh, my goodness.
and open the fucking back of the truck, and nothing's working.
Okay, I got the chainsaw, and I escape. Alright, looking good, looking good.
A bunch of bodies doing a little dance.
Open the door. Oh, man.
Is this the part where you kill Carlito?
Spoilers! Are you fucking... No, it's not the part, by the way.
Oh, God.
Is it possible to just drop things? Oh no, I remember. I shove it into his face if I remember correctly. I just go.
I think so. Yeah.
Skaboom.
That's for you. Enjoy.
Yeah, it's delicious.
So not too long ago, actually, probably less than a week ago from today, I watched the movie that was made based on Dead Rising. There were two.
Okay.
They were independently made, and then Capcom just like sort of thought that they looked like a fun idea, so they threw some cash at it and allowed them to use the licensing. Honestly, I only watched the first one. It's
called Dead Rising?
It's called Dead Rising, and then after release, it was retitled Dead Rising Watchtower, sorry. Because there's a plot point that's like codename Watchtower or whatever.
Sure, okay.
And then they made a second one too. Good hit, Carlito.
Yeah, Carlito helped out there.
But the second one...
Sorry, and by second one, do you mean another independent one, or do you mean a sequel to Watchtower?
A sequel to Watchtower, yeah. It's Dead Rising Watchtower and then Dead Rising Endgame.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are they with Frank West?
Frank West appears in the first one, but he's not the main character. Basically, the game came out... Sorry, the movie, Watchtower, came out right around the same time that Dead Rising 3 was being marketed. So they made a Nick Ramos-style character be the main character in the movie.
Also, I'm sorry to interrupt, but just look at this like expert tuck and weaving here.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah, and then a zombie gets me, that's always when I get hit.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Or
when you have to break to take a drink.
Yeah.
But the main character's name is Chase Carter. And I was like...
Oh, hey!
Yeah, and...
oh, man, yeah.
Chase Carter, and his actual name is like Chuck Chmielewski or something, but he had to change it to become a news reporter.
Oh, that's
funny. He's very Nick Ramos. He's very Dead Rising 3. The whole fucking movie is very Dead Rising 3, where it's like there are times where it tries to be kind of funny, but more often than not, it takes itself way too seriously. But there's a couple of fun scenes, and there is actually a scene where like Chase is just like going toe-to-toe with a ton of zombies, and he is like using a mod weapon that's straight out of Dead Rising 3, and he's Jesus Christ, dude. He gets a baseball bat and he starts bashing things around, and he starts climbing up. Like, it's very Dead Rising Siege of Zombies style gameplay, but
okay, that's cool.
It's shot pretty well.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where he actually takes a hunk of human flesh, like an arm that's being chewed on, and like beats somebody with it. And that's cool. A pretty good nod.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
But like the movie was pretty bad. And actually, Frank West in it, he only appears as a guy who's being interviewed because it's set after Dead Rising 1, but in the same universe. And
also, wah wah.
Wah, 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 wah.
But is it canon?
It's canon as far as the fact that it's set between Dead Rising 2 and Dead Rising 3. And then Dead Rising 3 doesn't do anything to acknowledge the storyline of the movie because it was technically made after Dead Rising 3 came out. So it's like it inserts itself and it kind of makes sense as far as the timeline is concerned, but it never gets referenced in the games. So it's not technically canon.
Well, I mean, Rogue One, for example, is canon.
I mean, but this is every single zombie outbreak that happens after the Willamette outbreak gets referenced in the series of the games. Like,
Okay.
it's
Sure,
all
okay. Sure,
public
sure,
knowledge.
sure.
So the fact that the one that happens in the movie doesn't get referenced, but kind of does an okay job of inserting itself as long as you don't go past the second game, it's like, whatever.
Okay.
But Frank appears as an interviewee because there's an outbreak happening in a new town, and Frank has written a book, and the cover of the book is the artwork from the case of Dead Rising 1, which I think is kind of funny.
That is cool.
And he only appears sitting in a news booth being interviewed by a woman who hates him, who's a news reporter, and he's just being an ass. And like they do,
That's Frank for you.
but they do some fun things with the character where every now and then he like chimes in with an actual like thing to say, like a bit of character. But mostly he's just like a goofy dick. And he's played by Rob Riggle.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
You'd know him to see him.
Frank, what advice do you have for those trapped inside the quarantine zone?
Turn off your televisions. Put down your phones and run for your goddamn life.
Rob Riggle. I'll look it up.
Yeah,
Then you can put a picture in.
He's a comedy guy, yeah. He was in Step Brothers, he was in oh shit. Now I'm
Riggle with a W?
Robriggle.
Riggle.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah. He was in a bunch of episodes of Chuck.
No,
in, like,
yeah,
season
totally,
3.
totally.
Yeah. He's all over the comedies, and they cast him as Frank West, and they dress him up in like the brown leather jacket and the wide lapelled white shirt that he shows up in this game, and he looks a lot like Frank.
No, that's
like,
good work.
It's good casting.
Fine. Let me tell you something. Read my book.
Oh, Jesus.
Chapter 5, I specifically tell you, you can't worry about technicalities, okay? Screw the rules.
Also, can you imagine if just in the real zombie apocalypse, weapon spawns actually increased like a video game?
Yeah, like if you left a room and that caused a load of a new room, then the weapons would appear again?
Yeah, I mean, or even more realistic, just, like, for whatever example, going to a high school and opening up lockers.
And finding like a chainsaw.
Yeah, being a guarantee of finding a katana or a chainsaw or like a baseball bat with nails in it.
Or like a varying range of things at least. Like
Yeah,
open up a
exactly.
locker and you could find some paper, but you could find a machine gun. Actually, that's too close to home.
Oh, yeah.
You could find a crowbar.
What made me think it was when I was grabbing the orange juice there and just left a chainsaw behind. Can you imagine? You're just like, well, went to the booster juice, the chainsaw there, and then I went to go downstairs and I saw, wait, is that a katana? Just on the top.
There
of
was
that
like
thing?
I looked over the awning because I was just like taken aback, and there was a fucking ninja sword.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
I think it might have been like a proper katana, but I just don't know.
Didn't jump down because I'm not some sort of crazy person.
I'm not a maniac.